They thought he disappeared because he had nothing left, that he went quiet because the fight in him had died. They saw his silence and mistook it for surrender. But what they didn't see was the war he was fighting behind closed doors. Not with them, but with himself. He could have shouted back. He could have screamed his pain into the world, demanded apologies, begged for closure. But he didn't, because he knew something most people never learn. Real strength doesn't scream, it whispers. It builds in silence. It sharpens in isolation. And while they thought he was broken, he was rebuilding brick by brick, piece by piece. In that silence, he met a version of himself he never knew existed. A colder version, a wiser version, one that didn't need approval, didn't seek validation, and didn't crave attention. Pain taught him what pride never could, that self-respect isn't earned by winning arguments or proving people wrong. It's earned by walking away with your dignity intact and letting your results speak when the noise fades. The people who once had access to him didn't even realize when they lost it. They were too busy playing games, testing his limits, pushing buttons they thought he didn't have. Until one day, they turned around and he wasn't there. No goodbye, no drama, just silence. That silence wasn't weakness, it was a boundary, a decision, a promise to himself that he would no longer bleed for those who wouldn't even offer a bandage. He spent months in solitude, not lonely, but alone. There's a difference. Loneliness is when the world walks away from you. Solitude is when you choose to walk away from the world. In that space, he learned to breathe again. He learned to enjoy his own company. He started reading more, thinking deeper, training harder. Every day he added something to himself: discipline, knowledge, peace. And every day he removed something: guilt, anger, desperation. He realized he was never afraid of being alone. He was afraid of being misunderstood, afraid that if he didn't explain himself, they'd paint him as the villain. But then he understood. Let them believe what they want. Let them spin their stories. His truth didn't need defending. It just needed time. There's a strange power in becoming comfortable with your own silence. The world runs on noise, opinions, notifications, likes, followers, but silence. Silence is where transformation happens. It's where you can hear your own thoughts without interruption, where you can ask yourself the hard questions. Who am I when no one's watching? What do I want from this life? Who actually deserves access to me? Every day, he woke up with a fire behind his eyes, not to prove them wrong, but to prove himself right. He didn't want revenge. Revenge is loud, temporary, childish. What he wanted was legacy, something that would outlive the betrayal, outgrow the pain, and outshine the lies. So he kept his head down, let his silence speak, let his actions grow, let his evolution become the echo of his pain. The same people who doubted him, ignored him, disrespected him, they started noticing something, not in what he said, but in what he became. His energy changed. He no longer explained himself, no longer waited to be chosen, no longer tried to fit in. His silence had sculpted him into someone they no longer recognized, someone they could no longer reach. But by then, it was too late. The door they used to walk through freely was now locked, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. He knew they'd only come back out of curiosity, not care, to see what he built, not to build with him. So he stayed silent, and that silence kept him safe, focused, untouchable. The world loves a man who speaks up, who fights back, who lashes out. but it never understands a man who chooses silence, who doesn't react, who just walks away and rebuilds in the shadows. That man is dangerous, because he doesn't need noise to be noticed. He doesn't need attention to feel alive. His existence alone is a statement, calm, grounded, complete. When the comeback came, it wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was quiet, composed, ruthless. He didn't announce it. He didn't post it. He didn't rub it in anyone's face. He simply became undeniable. His progress couldn't be ignored. His success couldn't be questioned. His strength couldn't be broken. People started whispering again. Did you see what he's doing now? He's changed so much. He's not the same person. And they were right. He wasn't that old version of him, the one who tolerated the disrespect, who begged for love, who stayed when he should have left. He died in the silence. What emerged was someone sharper, smarter, stronger, unshakable, and the beautiful part. He didn't hate them. He didn't wish them harm. He just outgrew them. Quietly, powerfully, permanently. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. Just walk away. Let your absence be the loudest thing they hear. Let your silence speak volumes. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know that not every war is worth fighting. Some battles are won by not showing up, by protecting your peace, by refusing to lose yourself, trying to fix people who were never broken, just selfish. He became the kind of man who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't break. Not because life didn't hurt him, but because he turned that hurt into fuel, into fire, into focus. His silence became his sanctuary. And in that silence, he built something louder than words, a legacy, a story, a name they'd remember, even if he never spoke it again. So, if you're listening to this, and you feel like your silence is being misunderstood, let them misunderstand. If you feel like walking away makes you weak, walk anyway. If they think you're finished because you're quiet, let them think. Just promise yourself one thing. While they talk, you build. While they guess, you grow. And while they wait for your return, become someone who never needs to come back. Because sometimes, the real power isn't in proving them wrong. It's in becoming so right with yourself that their opinions no longer matter. He stayed silent, but that silence built the loudest comeback of his life.